What is up, guys? We have another video today, and this one we're gonna be going over the Wake Forest North Carolina game. Wake Forest is ranked 10th. They're 8-0, and they're taking on the North Carolina Tarheels, who are 4-4. Now, this game is interesting. The reason I'm covering this one, I don't do much ACC stuff, but the reason I'm covering this one is because North Carolina is a 2.5-point favorite over the 10th ranked undefeated Wake Forest team. Man, these spreads have been all over the place this year. These spreads and over-unders have been crazy. Now, the over-under for this game is 76 points. That's a pretty good number. Wake Forest is a good team. They're not an elite team, but they're a good team. And Wake Forest could maybe go 12-0. Expect North Carolina to put up some points, but Wake Forest will score more points. Wake Forest has given up a lot of points to some teams that they probably shouldn't have, including Army. That game was like 70-56. No defense in the game for either team. It just came down to who scored more. So expect this game. I'm assuming this game could probably get into the 50s to the 40s type of game. Maybe 50s and 30s. I think Wake Forest is going to win this game. Wake Forest, do they legitimately have a path to the playoff? I don't know. We'll know the answer to that where the playoff poll rankings put them. If they are in the top 10, then I would assume yes. I don't think they're going to jump anybody. I don't see them jumping nobody in the rankings. I don't even think they have any ranked wins. Yeah, I don't think they have any ranked wins. They don't play anybody ranked on their schedule left. So I could be wrong about the ranked wins. They might have one, but I don't think they have any. And could Wake Forest make a run for the playoffs if they finish 13-0? It just depends what happens in front of them, because a lot of teams, like I said, a lot of these teams in front of them are still have to play each other. Ohio State and Michigan State still got to play, and Michigan and Ohio State still have to play. And so a lot of these teams still want to play each other. So it's just going to come down to what happens in the teams in front of them. And we'll just see what the playoff poll committee thinks. And because this really, we don't know. This is the AP poll. We don't know what the playoff committee thinks about Cincinnati, what they're going to think about Wake Forest, what they're going to think about Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oregon. We don't know what they're going to think. They're going to keep Oregon. They might give Oregon that edge over Ohio State. They might. So Oregon might be like 5th, and they'll put Ohio State 6th, and they'll say, hey, Oregon's there because that win was head-to-head. And there's a lot of things that could unfold like that. We just don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. It could be very similar. They could shake it up. They could say, hey, Cincinnati is just not a top 4 team. They're not going to make the playoff even if they go 13-0. They're just not a top 4 team. But I don't know. It's crazy. But Wake Forest, if they finish 13-0, throw them in there, see what happens. They can score. Hartman, definitely probably the best quarterback in college football this year. Definitely one of the top 3, if not the best. He's just a phenomenal, exciting to watch quarterback play. Wake Forest, a real underdog coming in this year. I mean, nobody expected this. Everybody expected North Carolina to be 8-0. And North Carolina will be the top dog of the ACC, along with Clemson. Well, that fell short. North Carolina, like I said, very disappointing. A lot of points will be scored in this game. Wake Forest has given up a lot of points to some inferior opponents. Like I said, they just outscore them, and that's kind of what it is. And Wake Forest really hasn't played an elite defense yet. I want to see them play Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan State. I want to see them play these teams. Maybe even Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati and Wake Forest would be a good ball game. And who knows? Who knows? Cincinnati and Wake Forest might be the 5 and 6 teams when they finish. And I know obviously Cincinnati fans don't want to see that. If they want to see their team make the playoff, they go undefeated. But I would like to see a New Year's Six bowl with a 13-0 Cincinnati and a 13-0 Wake Forest. That would be a pretty good game. And I would probably favor Wake Forest just because they can put up a lot of points and quickly. I think that would be a great game if them two teams finish 5 and 6. But like I said, I don't know. We don't know nothing until we see what the playoff poll committee thinks. And I wouldn't be surprised they dropped Georgia because of how bad the offense played against Florida. Even though we won 34-7, I wouldn't be surprised they dropped us to second. I would not be surprised when they put maybe. I mean, that's really the thing. This, even though the offense was so sloppy, we still won by 4 touchdowns. But the thing is, Oklahoma's been so inconsistent, and Oregon's been inconsistent. Ohio State was inconsistent. They've gotten a little better at the end of the year. Alabama has been inconsistent. They've had some close ones. They've had a lot of games that they won in the fourth quarter, where that game was still very much competitive going into the second half. And the main thing is you're winning, but teams are not winning like they used to be. They're scraping by Cincinnati, scraping by Oklahoma, scraping by Alabama, lost to A&M, almost lost to Florida. Was a 1-score game going into the fourth against Tennessee, and not a great team. So, I mean, and Ohio State had the loss to Oregon. Oregon had the loss to Stanford. There's so much inconsistency going on this season. And there's so many factors. Like, okay, this team did this team did this team lost here. There's so many things that goes into this first playoff poll that they got to look at. There's only one team in the country with 4 top 25 wins, and that's Georgia. They have 4 top 25 wins, 2 in the top 25, or 2 in the top 10. Alabama has 3. Ohio State has 1, and that was Penn State. Oklahoma has 1, and that was Texas. Cincinnati has 1, and it was Notre Dame. Yeah. Yeah, Michigan State has 1, I think, and that was Michigan. So, I don't know. Could be interesting. So, we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, this Wake Forest, they have a path to the playoff, in my opinion. I mean, to me, if you go 13-0 and you win your conference, I think that's good enough to get into a playoff, just to see what you can do, because going undefeated is so hard to do, and they're playing great. The quarterback's great. The running game's okay. The receivers are good. They got some good receivers out there at Wake Forest, but we'll just have to see. North Carolina, Sam Howell, he's inconsistent. He can play great at times. Sometimes he just doesn't like know what he's doing. Like I said, I think Wake Forest is going to win. It's going to be probably 40 or 30 something. I'm probably going to go 45-34 or something like that. No. I'm going to go 55 to 42, 55-42. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think Wake Forest is kind of going to take the edge, and they're just going to kind of go with it late in the fourth. That's what I see happening in this game. What intrigued me was UNC's favored by 3. I don't understand that at all, but maybe they know something we don't. I don't know, but we'll see. Wake Forest, hopefully on top, and hopefully they can go undefeated, because I definitely want to play them in the playoff. Peace.